Good day. It's a cold yet very sunny day out in Johannesburg. Cloudless day, actually very beautiful. However, when you go out, it's rather nippy. Hence the big jacket and the polo neck. So I've been thinking it's been quite a tumultuous last couple of days. We buried an uncle who was quite a socialite, quite a leader of the community, and it was amazing attending the funeral. You had so many people from all different walks of life. It also was a very serene, a very peaceful funeral in this holy month of Ramadan. We buried who was affectionately known as Uncle Lefty on Saturday. And at the time of death, you reflect, you ponder, you introspect. And in terms of all of this, just looking at the world, I guess also being Ramadan, and somehow the body is in a more serene state, without all the clutter, without all the noise, without all the issues that normally happen at other times of the year. And I've been thinking that there's such polarization, there's such angst, there's such hatred, bigotry happening around us. You see an incident that happened just a few days ago at one of the mosques in Johannesburg, where ladies tried to perform a prayer and men had vented their anger because it was against the rules of that particular mosque. Now, without going into the rights and wrongs of the issue, I think that's not what I'm trying to get at. There's always three sides to a story. My dad always told me, it's the two parties side and then there's the truth. So yeah, without getting to all of that, I mean, you look at the issues in the Middle East right now. I mean, we've seen these horrid videos of kids being killed, innocent nurses, medical practitioners being shot at, being targeted. And you never know with these things what's the agenda. But what you're starting to see, and what's very interesting, after you post a particular video or it's put on social media, you look at the comments and you see such hatred being spewed out. Either somebody saying that all Jews must be killed. I mean, and that's defeating the purpose of even showing up these videos. The whole idea is for the truth to come out, and for those that perpetrate hatred and oppression to be shown up. And you can't fight oppression and hatred with further hatred and oppression and further ugliness and further darkness. All that happens is that you play into the hands of those that want to see chaos in the world. You see a rather derogatory speech by the President of the United States, and you then have all these negative comments. Yes, we need to call out bigotry, injustices, hatred, racism out for what it is. However, we have to do so in the manner that has been prescribed, that has been shown to us by the great men that have walked this earth, the likes of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who was so accommodating to those that hated him, that eventually through love got those that hated him to love him. Those that wanted to see his blood being spilt eventually were prepared to die for him. You look at Jesus, peace be upon him, who also had shown love to all of mankind. And so it goes with all the other prophets. And you look at modern day elders, icons, the likes of Nelson Mandela, the likes of Oliver Tambo. It was very easy for Nelson Mandela when he came out of prison to, after going through those 27 years in prison and with all that he went through, to turn around and turn against his oppressors. However, he came out and spoke the language of reconciliation, the language of love. We faced in this country, in South Africa, also with a polarized society. You've seen people frustrated, and justifiably so. You cannot go for so many years under democracy and still be left in poverty and still be left without basic services. You see all the corruption that's taking place around the world as well. You cannot have a world where you have 2 or 5% of the world owning 90% of the resources. You cannot have this gap between the rich and the poor perpetuate. This is unsustainable. This is creating the social ills of society around the world. However, we have to be fighting against racism, fighting against bigotry, fighting against inequality, all through the auspices, through the umbrella, through the philosophy, through embracing love. If we can do that, it is the only way we can be combating all the ills that we face, the hatred, the bigotry, the racism, the polarization of society, the economic ills of society. It is through love. I thank you.